Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome to your mediation today. Good evening. My name's Maria, and you can address me as such, just first name basis. Just before we get started, can you both introduce yourselves and let myself and the other party know how you would like to be addressed going forward?
Jessica, you can go first.
I'm playing the role of Jessica, which I'll be Jessica today. You can address me as Jessica if you like, or Jess.
Okay, thank you, Jess. Thank you.
I'm playing the role of Peter. You can call me Peter. I'm Jessica's partner in the business that we're here to dispute.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, welcome to you both. Okay, and you're both representing yourselves. Perfect. Okay, so just some logistics. We are doing this over Zoom. So how is everyone's internet connection? Like distractions? Are we all in like a secure place where we can talk and everything? Perfect. Yep. And you can hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And hear each other clearly. Great, great. Okay, yeah. And just if at any point anyone needs to use the restroom, get a drink of water, this is an informal process. So we just want to make sure we're all comfortable and we're all just working through this. So at any point, just let me know. No worries at all. Okay, great. And like, that's perfect. Okay. So time requirements. Does anyone have a hard out they need this evening, or are we good for the duration?
My roommate might come back at some point. I told him about this, but just for you guys to know in case someone barges in.
No worries at all.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm
great.
good.
Yeah, no. All right. Thank you for letting us know, Peter. Okay, and then just before I move into my opening statement, I just want to make sure, are both of you capable of making the final decision for yourselves in this process? Or in other words, would there be anyone else you would need to talk to today before leaving, or are you both good to come to a decision together?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
so.
we could do that. Yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to make what mediators call an opening statement. I'm going to go ahead and tell you about what your rights and entitlements are, what to expect in this process. And yeah, so after I'm finished, I will turn it over to both of you to have your opening statement. And at that point, you'll just let me know what I need to know to bring me to speed and to help me as best as I can throughout this process. So, perfect. Okay. Great. So this is your mediation, and I will support as much as possible how you're going to conduct your presentations. Wait, yes. Perfect. Oh, sorry. Just make sure I'm typing everything. Great. Okay. Okay, so yeah, in your opening statements, just so you know, I may be taking notes, but I want to and I might jump in for a clarification question, but I'm just doing that to make sure that I know as much as what's going on and I can assist you as best as possible. So just going in, what is mediation? I assume you both know that as you have both agreed to be here, but just so we're all on the same page, I'm basically just here to mediate a negotiation between you two. And so in your rights and entitlements here, you have three. One is confidentiality. I will keep all that I hear in this mediation confidential, and I will not share any of it with anyone. I also would in turn request you keep what is discussed confidential. Most states consider mediation a settlement negotiations, thus protecting and withholding anything said inadmissible in court. Of course, there are exceptions, what I call the mediator's Miranda warnings. I cannot keep any of those things confidential. That would include any threat of violence, past or present abuse of any kind. So there you are. And if anybody here is a mandated reporter, they would have to, of course, go with those distinctions. Also, this is a voluntary process. So you both have chosen to be here. And then neutrality. You are entitled to a neutral assistant in this mediation. That is me. I can't just say that I'm neutral. I have to prove it. First of all, I don't recognize either of you. Do either of you recognize me? All right, good, perfect. So let me take this a step further by telling you something about me to see if we've had any contact or relationship. Oh, I worked as a mediator for the San Diego Superior Court. Does anyone have any relationship with that body at all? Perfect, great. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and proceed as your mediator. Okay. So also, I will not be giving you any legal, financial, or other specialized advice. Again, like neutral. And you can also, you have agreed not to call me as a witness in court in this matter if we don't settle it here. So if it has to go to litigation, I cannot be called to testify. So how is this process going to work moving forward? We're all in together, and this is called a joint session. We are going to remain in joint session until all opening statements are presented. We may remain after the opening statement in joint session if we're all okay with it, or a caucus may be called. A caucus would be a private meeting. Any of us may call a caucus. I can decide I need to, as your mediator, speak with both of you individually, or if any of you would like to speak with me individually, we can totally go ahead and make that happen. So at any point, let me know that after we finish a joint session. So yeah, but if I caucus with one of you, I will then, of course, to remain neutral, caucus with the other. Will be perfect. Okay. And confidentiality will apply to all in all the caucuses. So same rules apply. Moving forward to the agreement, if you both reach an agreement, if we're going to settling some or all of the issues that you two have, it will be written up. If the written statement does reflect your understanding, we will all sign the original, and I will make adequate copies for you both if you need one, or anyone else who might need one. Also, if this matter is in court and all issues are settled, the agreement usually resolves all the court's concerns. Okay, perfect, but we're not at that stage. Great, okay. Awesome. Okay, so thank you both for listening to my opening statement. Does anyone have any questions or concerns so far?
Nope.
Nope.
Wonderful. Okay, so moving forward to both of your opening statements. Peter, would it be all right if Jessica went first?
Yes, that's fine with me.
Perfect. All right.
I'm fine with that.
Wonderful. Okay, Jessica, may I have your opening statement?
Peter and I have worked together for, well, we've known each other for 15 years, and we've worked together with TV World for the past 12 years. We're really good friends, and we've come to a disagreement because of Peter's lack of potentially caring for our business, deciding to leave early on the weekdays, and also to not cover Fridays like he usually did in the past. So I think that's about it for my opening statement.
Okay, thank you so much, Jessica, for your opening statement. Peter, now if you would like to provide your opening statement.
Sure. Yeah. So like Jessica mentioned, we met 15 years ago. We met at a party. We've been friends ever since then. About 13 years ago, I decided to invest all of my savings into a retail business, TV World. A year after starting, Jessica decided to join me and become my business partner. I've, kind of worked my butt off for the last 12 years since Jessica joined. And, recently I've decided that I wanted to start taking some time off to spend more time with my family, Fridays and some of the evenings. I think that's fair. in other words, I'm also kind of upset that Jessica's hired her 22-year-old son, Adam, as a 20-hour per week consultant who basically plays video games and is paid a whopping $250 per hour and has had this job for the last 2 months. With that being said, I'd like to conclude my opening statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you both for those opening statements. So we are still in joint session at this point. So I think what we can do at this point, are we okay to begin an open dialogue between you two about these issues, or would you prefer to, before moving forward, caucus with me?
I'm sorry,
I'm fine.
cutting out a little bit on my end.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Can you restate that?
Yeah. So we have two options now that both of us have, all of us have given our opening statements and kind of understand where we're at. We can enter into a period of open questioning and dialogue between you two, or we can go in. I am willing to, at this point, if you feel like, having now heard the other's opening statement, if you would like to caucus with me to get some clarification about maybe some information you heard, we can do that. So would you, Peter has stated that he is okay to enter into dialogue, or but would you like to caucus first, Jessica?
I would like maybe a minute or two with the mediator.
Absolutely, yeah, we can totally do that.
Or are we gonna just do it like this?
Maria?
Hello.
There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I cannot see you guys at the moment. I think my internet connection is actually a little unstable, but what I can do is I will talk. Okay, Jessica said she wants to have a caucus, so we can go ahead and do that. Let me.
Oh, she came back. I think her internet's just super unstable.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. Sorry.
I can.
Yeah. We'll just do the mute thing where Trevor just mutes his ears for a second.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Trevor, go ahead and mute your audio. Once we see that, we can do that.
I'll leave the audio.
All right, perfect.
I'll come back in a couple of minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
Take off your headphones. All right. So basically the thing here is that as come on, I'm in the middle of a class right now. Sorry.
Sorry, I could go on.
I'm sorry. My brother just came in the room. Okay.
Don't worry about
so
it.
basically, thank you. As Peter, 5 years ago, Peter's daughter Kelly worked for the company as an accountant for 2 years, and she was very well paid. However, she was not very professional and made lots of bookkeeping mistakes, cost the company lots of money, penalties, and fees. She finally moved to Los Angeles and left the business for this reason. You do not feel bad about paying your son $250 per hour for his work. So essentially, I don't really feel bad because his daughter lost us a lot of money, and it's kind of my way of kind of creating an even surface for us. And the reality is we've worked together for a long time and been successful. And now at this point we're not able to because he doesn't want to put in the fair shared hours that I've worked the whole time. So that's pretty much the most important part of this is his daughter came in and cost the business a ton of money, and then he's giving me a hard time for the $250 per hour.
And that's Adam, correct?
Adam,
Adam.
yeah, my son that I
Your
hired.
son. Gotcha. has Adam been hired in part to compensate for the loss of out? Because there was, in the original statement that I received, there was a note that another employee had to be hired to make up for Peter's absence. Is that Adam's job, or is Adam's job separate from that issue?
Hold on, Adam's hired to take over the extra hours that Peter's not available, right?
That's what Adam's doing, right?
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
what I've
Just want to clarify that. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I don't know where Peter got the idea that he's a paid consultant, because and all the information that I have here, it doesn't say anything about that.
Okay, so your understanding is that you only hired Adam because Peter is not doing his fair share of the work, was from your understanding.
That partly that he's not there, but also I'm also hired Adam too, because like his daughter costs us a bunch of money, and if he's not going to be here, then I'm going to hire my son, because he gave his daughter the opportunity. So I'm going to give
So your son should
my
have a
son the
similar
opportunity.
opportunity.
Yeah, of course.
I understand completely. Okay, sounds good. So this is, yeah, in a way, this is your way of rectifying a past harm that you believe was done, on top of solving the problem of Peter's absence.
Yeah, it's a two birds with one stone situation for sure.
For sure. Okay. Well, thank you for explaining that to me. I understand your situation definitely better now. Would you like me to speak to Peter about this concern at this point?
Yeah, I would like you to speak to Peter for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, so we can. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or should I can move on to my caucus with Peter, perhaps?
Well, my son's doing a great job, so I mean that's a big, huge factor. It's not like my son's making mistakes, like his daughter did. So I mean, yeah, I did. There's a little past stuff going on, but at the same time, I mean, my son's doing an excellent job. So
Right.
I want that to be added in as well. It's not like he's not doing a good job.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely make sure to relay and that definitely to Peter, to understand that from your perspective, your son is being beneficial to the company, for sure. Okay.
Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm ready to get back, or whatever we want to do.
Awesome. I will let's do that.
I do, but who's? I can't right now, but I'll come back in like 10, 15 minutes. All right.
Hello.
Okay. Welcome back, Peter. Okay. So at this point, I will have a side caucus with you, and just kind of relay the information that was just relayed to me to you, and then get a little bit of better understanding before we move back into a joint session. So, perfect. Stazo or Jessica, do you mind muting yourself for this portion?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So essentially what Jessica and I spoke about was some information that we were both not privy to, and that is that Jessica's understanding is that when you hired your daughter in the past, Kelly, she was very well paid, but did a poor job, and the company suffered as a result of that, and that there were bookkeeping issues and so forth before she left for like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. And so the hiring of Adam is being done not just to make up for your absence, but also my understanding is a way of kind of rectifying that past issue of your daughter being hired, and then also so hiring Adam is a way of like fixing or kind of a retributive justice being done on the part of the poor job Kelly did from her point of view, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I am glad he kind of brought up Kelly, because the thing about that is that, she did work for the company 3 years ago. She worked here for 2 years. The difference between the hiring of Kelly and the hiring of Adam, however, is that Jessica didn't ask for my consent in hiring her son,
Hmm.
who is actually a consultant for the business for the video game research and testing department, and he's being paid $250 an hour. So yeah, sure, you can say, Kelly, there were some bookkeeping errors and whatnot. However, I think it is also fair to say that she wasn't paid $250 an hour, and she was doing something more productive than being a couch potato and playing video games all day.
Hmm.
In addition to that, I like I mentioned in my opening statement, I was the founder of this business. I've put in more equity and more time than Jessica, and I feel I'm entitled to, a day off a week at least to spend time with my family. And it's for this reason that I've decided to close our partnership bank account at WA Mutual and open up a new partnership at the BA bank with me as the sole signatory, because I think it's unfair. It's gross what we're paying Adam.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So just to kind of repeat back to you, just to make sure I understand, you are understanding of, at least to a certain extent, it sounds like, where Jessica's coming from, the hiring of your daughter versus hiring of son, and you even acknowledge that perhaps Kelly did make some mistakes that hurt the company. Would that be fair to say?
No, yeah, she made some bookkeeping errors. Luckily we did catch him in our internal auditing.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't anything too terrible, but I mean, in comparison to the $250 per hour we were paying, Kelly's son to play video games, I think these are two completely different circumstances.
Right. Okay. I understand that. So but you don't, but where the disagreement comes in then, as you just stated, is you believe that this is in a way a form of nepotism that is going too far and that it's hurting the company, and that it sounds like the big issue more than just the fact is the fact that you weren't consulted on it as co-founder or as
Yeah,
co-owner.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a
Lack of
perfect summarization.
Perfect. Okay, great. And so, gotcha. Okay, perfect. So I understand your issue here and your as well as your decision to close the account, and with your equity and anything. So with that understanding, I think we can, if it's okay with you, we'll move back into a joint session.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, that's great. I will put it in the chat. Welcome back. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Perfect.
Apologies for the early disturbances. I didn't realize my brother was going to randomly pop in.
No worries.
No, you're good. I apologize for my internet crashing a bunch. Okay. So now, after caucusing both of you, we're gonna go ahead and enter back into a joint session where I'm just gonna bring up some of the issues that were both discussed to me privately, so we can open some dialogue about that. So first of all, we have the issue right now, but it sounds like there's some unresolved issues from the past that need to be discussed, that are influencing where we are right now. So the issue of the hiring of Kelly, Peter's daughter, Jessica, would you feel comfortable speaking about that directly to Peter?
I'm sorry, speaking about what in particular?
Wait, I'm losing track. Would you feel comfortable speaking about the errors from your understanding that Kelly made that hurt the business?
Oh yeah, no problem. So Peter's daughter Kelly worked for the company as an accountant for 2 years. She was very well paid. However, she was not very professional and made lots of bookkeeping mistakes, which cost the company lots of money. I'll keep it at that.
Okay. And then, Peter, would you acknowledge, or from your perspective, would you say it's fair to say that there were errors made by Kelly that hurt the business?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this was an issue we resolved 3 years ago when we decided to let Kelly go. There were some errors. Luckily they didn't cost us too much money or time in the long run to make up for. She did work for us for 2 years, but like I said, she's been gone for the last 3.
Jessica, it sounds like Peter believes that this issue is in the past and has been resolved. From your perspective, do you think the issue has been resolved?
The issue of what?
Do you believe that is the issue of Kelly affecting anything in your is the issue of Kelly a factor? It sounds like the issue of Kelly doesn't seem to be a factor for
him. For Peter, yeah, it's not a factor. I mean, it's his daughter, But my son Adam's is a factor. So
right. Okay, gotcha.
Right, Jessica. Though, can you and I both agree that what happened with Kelly? It's not really relevant to our dispute here today. We let her go 3 years ago, right?
I mean, it is relevant though, because she was very well paid and my son's very well paid. So, I mean, we could put the fact that she put her mistakes behind us both, but she was well paid. So why can't we pay my son well? I mean, he's only been working, like you said, for, I don't know, 2 months, you said in the opening statements. So, I mean, I don't see what the issue is with my son working.
Yeah, it's not so much that I have an issue with, Adam working. It's the fact that, at least Kelly, though she did make some minor mistakes in, the books and handling the accounting, she did have a legitimate job, whereas your son Adam is being paid, like I said, $250 an hour for working 20 hours per week to essentially sit down and, play video games, test our video games, which is kind of an illegitimate job, something that we are highly overpaying him for, in my opinion.
From my information and my understanding, Adam's doing a great job, and there's nothing at all that even relates to him playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, he is in the department for video game research and testing, though.
Yeah, I mean, but he could be, showing people how to experience the game's full features while working. That's a potential, sales spike. Maybe that's why he's doing such a great job, because he knows how to play the video games.
We would have to be paying him. He would have to be selling an innumerable number of games per hour in order to only cover his own salary, though. That's my issue, is I think he's being grossly underpaid. I'm not saying I don't appreciate the help that Adam's brought.
Let's get to the bigger issue. Well, I need someone to work while you're not there.
That's fair, and I need days off to spend with my family.
Awesome.
I've been working here for 13 years.
Okay, so if I can jump in here real quick, it looks like we're getting to some other issues here. So to summarize both of your positions just real fast before I move on to another point, we have the issue at hand, which is why we're here, which is Jessica or Peter not coming into the office as much as Jessica thinks Peter should. We also have this past issue of Kelly, which seems to have some influence on what our positions are at the moment. So where we're at right now, before moving on, is that Adam is being paid what Peter believes is too much, and for what the job he's doing and what he's bringing to the company, while Jessica disagrees with this and believes he's being paid for the work he's being done. But we can both agree that Kelly was also hired as a child of one of you, and so both of your children have been in the company. And that's
If I
him.
might
Yeah.
interrupt for 1 second. Yeah, so the difference that I'm seeing between, Kelly and Adam is that we both agreed to hire Kelly, whereas Jessica took it upon herself to hire Adam. Anyways, you may continue.
Oh no, hold on, let me jump in. And if you go back to the main argument that we were making here, as Jessica and as Peter, you have the same information here, and it says, I highlighted, it says, after several discussions and arguments, Jessica and Peter agreed to hire an extra employee to cover Peter's absence.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't
So I mean,
knowledgeable
literally,
that would be.
what you're saying is false. So at this point, we definitely agreed to hire somebody. Did you agree that it would be my son? I don't necessarily know if that's true or not, but we definitely came to the agreement that we're going to hire somebody.
Yeah, but we didn't say that the hiring of this person would be paid through my own paycheck. That's something else that we haven't even really touched on yet.
Well, your paycheck's being deducted because you haven't been at work.
Right. I'm the founder of this company, though, I don't stay late in the evenings and I take Fridays off. I do come in the rest of the week.
Yeah, but we gotta come to, some type of agreement. I mean, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do to pay the other employee? You know what I mean? You don't take a pay cut, and I get to work all hours and then manage another employee.
Jessica, one way to look at it is we might as well just, reduce our bonuses at the end of the year. You don't have to specifically target myself. It shouldn't be just me having to pay for this. We're partners in this, 50-50.
Agreed. I'm paying with my time. You're paying with money.
I started this business a year before you joined. I was putting in time.
We also were in contract 50-50.
That's very true. Yeah, you're not wrong there. And Jessica, I would like to come to a solution about this dispute at some point. However, I do think it's unbelievable how much we're paying Adam. I'd agree to allow him to stay on so long as we came to some sort of agreement to cut his paycheck to something that's much more reasonable.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I thought it was a clerical error. And I looked at it and it said $250 per hour. And I think that was actually my mistake. I don't think I actually meant to pay him $250 an hour. So I can see why you're upset. Yeah, we do have to come up with a nice solution that makes everyone happy. So if you're not going to be there and you don't want to take a pay cut, then we gotta figure something out because, I understand that Adam doesn't need to be paid that much. But at the same time, are you going to put in the extra work, or are we going to hire another employee?
I think it's fair to say that we need the one employee we agreed on. I think a more appropriate paycheck might be something near $25 per hour. Maybe that was the error. You accidentally added another zero. $25.
I thought it was your daughter
that added
that error, but then I realized she quit. So I was thinking that it could have been you on that.
All right, everyone.
That was good.
That was good. All right. Appreciate the humor, but let's be respectful to each other's families. Okay, well, just jumping in here real quick. Jessica, we both appreciate you maybe taking some accountability. It sounds like here with maybe a clerical error that was done, not you specifically taking accountability, but understanding that there is that Peter's issue with the paycheck is reasonable. So we can agree with that. That sounds like maybe an agreement we've come to is, at least in process, is a suggestion of $25 an hour, something that you could potentially agree to, Jessica?
As that's my son we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's 10 times less the money.
That is true.
So
maybe,
maybe we can come up with something. Maybe, like I said, I wasn't sure who was doing the books back there, but maybe we can come up with something that's more reasonable, and Peter comes in on Fridays.
Okay, but we don't have any final agreements yet. I'm just writing down, Adam is going to be taking a pay cut. Let's just write that. We both agree to
Definitely,
that.
he's definitely gonna. It's gonna be lessened, but
Gotcha.
we
So we
also
have that.
need Peter to be here on Fridays.
Okay, let's move into that
Jessica,
portion of the discussion. Before.
thank you, Maria. Here's one thing I'd like to mention in regards to me coming in on Fridays. Not only would Adam then need a pay cut, but he might also be in need of an hour cut. At a certain point, we're going to have not enough to do if we have too many people working at once. And so if you do agree for me to, or if I do agree to come in on Fridays, then I think it's only fair that we.
Well, I think a half day on Friday is fair.
Hours.
I think a half day on Friday for you would be great.
I think that's fair too. Yeah.
Did a half day, and then Adam takes a pay cut. Then I think we have our issue resolved.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think a half day would be fine. I could pick the kids up from school and hang out with my family. I think that would be great. I think that's reasonable.
I think so as well.
Sounds wonderful. And just so you have in full agreement and you have hopefully less issues going forward. There was also the issue of my understanding of Peter not staying until 9 a couple days a week. Are you okay with those hours as well, Jessica? Remaining the same?
Yes, that's why we have Adam working, I'd presume.
Perfect. Is that okay, Jessica?
Well, I'm not gonna argue that fact. You know what I mean? I want my son to keep working.
Okay, great. So maybe if we are discussing, there was an issue with the discrepancy of Adam's versus Kelly's pay. Would you like to potentially take a look at what Kelly was being paid, and perhaps have Adam have a starting rate of that? Would that work for either of you, just so we can keep that equitable?
Yeah. Do we know what Kelly was being paid?
I don't know. I don't have that info.
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I would assume she was being paid about $150 an hour.
That's ridiculous. I think she's being paid something closer to 40, 45.
You're not thinking like $120, $125?
$125. We'll call it $125. But here's the deal. I mean, she was the accountant. She did have a full-time workload. And Adam, I think, isn't entitled to $125. I'd say he's, like I had originally said, $25 an hour. I might be able to bump that up to, 40, 45, if that's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, well, we gotta have, he's only working part-time, so he's got bills to pay too, and then, gives you that freedom that you want. So $100 an hour is not bad. That gives you the time you need with your family.
That is true, and that's something I do appreciate. But $100 an hour is a lot, I think it would be fair if, we maybe went to $75 an hour. I think that would save us both $250. It'd save us $500 a week that we can use to put in reserves for the company.
I think what we could do, like maybe 78, 75.
How about
$78.75.
77.25.
78.75. Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, 78.25. 78.25 sounds fair to me.
78.75.
78.50.
78.50. All right, we could do that.
All right, glad we're on the same page.
All righty, wonderful. Okay, so in conclusion, we are going to have Adam taking a pay cut and working $78.50 an hour, and working specifically to accommodate Peter taking time with his family, which is important. I think it's important for us to recognize that your families clearly are both important to you, as is the business. So it's wonderful we could come to a conclusion on that. Peter is going to begin working a half day on Friday, so increasing the hours back to a little bit more. And then I'm gonna have this written up and sent to you both right now via email to sign. And I think we have done a great job. Congratulations to both of you for coming to this agreement. Great job, great job.
Yeah, thank you for the guidance, Maria. We appreciate your accommodation.
Of course, anytime, anytime. Happy to help. All right, wonderful.
Thank you guys so much for your time. You have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
I'll go ahead and stop the recording.
All right.